I think I'm in focus.
I'm sure you are.
Are you being... Oh, boy. Being sarcastic?
No, Keith, you're just so great at this, you know. I'm sure you're in focus.
What are we doing?
They call me Kong.
This is gonna be a nightmare.
What are you drinking?
Peach Pure Leaf Brewed Real Tea.
Oh, Keith.
Who's worse, me licking this thing or you jerking off those springs?
Yeah, spoiler alert, it's you licking that thing. All right. Do you want to lead us in, or do you want me to?
You got like a whiskey? What are you drinking?
This is a cold brew. It's a cold brew coffee. This is my second cup, and I don't usually have two in short succession, so
I like it.
My heart's gonna explode along with my head as we discuss this film.
Yeah. If we're gonna do any exploding episodes, it's Kong versus Godzilla.
Yes! Explosions, fighting, monsters, destroying cities.
So you want to talk about the nuance of film?
Oh man, I'm so mad. This movie made me so mad, like unreasonably angry.
Good.
So that's my hot take.
Tell me about your anger, Everett. It started when you were a child?
When
or
I was 5.
Who didn't love you?
You know, we can talk about your penis.
What?
Your penis. We can talk about it. That's what I'm here for.
My penis is cool, man. I'm very happy about my penis.
And is it a good size? Or?
So a little background on this movie is it just came out, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Big movie would be a theater film. You know, two big creatures, two big IP meeting together in this Monsterverse, which I understand is something that some people care about.
That was one of like two things I have prepared to talk about. I had no idea there was a Monsterverse. There were things you had to watch before coming into this movie.
Yeah.
The complexities of this film. I don't know if you were prepared for it. I was not.
Shared universe. Well, yeah. Let's start there then. That seems as good a place as any to discuss this film. Coming into it, this is, I think, the 4th film in this new universe.
Yeah.
What was your familiarity with those first 3 movies?
I was also going to say, I feel like you and I saw together in theaters Kong Skull Island. Is that incorrect?
That sounds right.
I feel like we both saw it together.
Yeah. Research.
Yeah. 1 bag of popcorn. 2 people.
Yeah. Anyone that knows you knows that you are not just getting 1 bag of popcorn at a snack bar in a movie theater.
100% true. I'm getting a big ass pretzel.
Yeah. Whatever they have that's deep fried and that has been there for several weeks, Keith is eating.
Yes. Yeah. Everett does not like my eating habits, period, but also at the movie theater.
It's disgusting. People look.
Dude, what are you doing?
Hey, the joke's always on me, all right? I get it.
No disrespect to anybody who loves these like monsters, and I mean this seriously. Like, I know there's a lot of people that really are into this universe and these monsters fighting each other, and they like these movies like Pacific Rim and all these giant monsters fighting each other. I know that there are people that like those things passionately, and that's fine, obviously, but it's never been one of my interests in the slightest, like even a little bit. And I told you, I think in a phone call before we watched this, I was not looking forward to watching Godzilla versus Kong at all. Like, I can't imagine a movie that I'd be less interested in watching. But then you responded, it's actually getting pretty great reviews overall. So that gave me a little bit of hope that I might enjoy it for its stupidity, like sort of like Skull Island, which is like, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun time. I did not, though. I did not. What else you got before we really dive in?
I feel like there's no reason to go deep into the movie aspect of this. But I feel like that's a real waste of everyone's time. Because if you don't like this type of stuff, you're not going to like this movie. If you don't like this type of stuff, you're not going to like it. And if you do like this kind of stuff, then you might like this movie. The only things, the reason you show up to this movie is for these action sequences where two titans fight each other, or sometimes three. That's what this movie should be judged upon, as we've talked many times before about the intent of filmmaking. Like, I don't want to sit here and question, which I want, like, instinctively want to be like, why did this happen? None of this makes sense. Why are these characters doing these things? This is stupid. But there's no point. That's not the point of this film. Everything is an excuse for action to happen. It's just an excuse to happen. So, I feel like we should just talk about the action? I
don't know. It feels like a cop-out a little bit to me because... I don't think the action is that great, which I know is an unpopular opinion.
Yeah,
I see it a lot of people.
I don't know if I agree with that, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just personally, I wasn't that impressed. I feel like I've seen better monster fights in other movies.
Where can you name
Peter
one
Jackson's?
Peter
Jackson's King Kong, like that. He fights like T-Rexes. I'm Team T-Rex, obviously. He fights like T-Rexes and he fights all this shit, and like that, those are much more impressive to me. And I feel like even in the first Godzilla movie I saw, like it was doper. So the action wasn't great, but there's a lot of not action. Like it's hard for me because I feel like a lot of the reviewers that I've seen are saying like it's just fun and big and dumb.
Yeah.
And that's great. We love that all of a sudden. But like, I don't think it's. It's like they talk about how we're here to watch monsters fight and we get monsters fighting.
Yeah,
but it's like,
I agree with that.
Do we? There's an awful lot of setup with these humans for a movie that's just monster fighting. Like I think I saw something where they're fighting for like 25 or 30 minutes out of the 2-hour runtime. So that's an hour and a half. That's 75% of the film. That's just people like delivering exposition or trying to justify the science behind some of this.
Yep.
So you can't just say like, we wanted to see monsters fighting and we got it. Because there's 75% of the film that I think is truly awful. Like maybe you like the monsters fighting and that's fine and you think the action's good and I can't fault you for that. But the rest of it is really, really, really bad. And I was really overwhelmed. I truly was by how awful it was. And I can go into all sorts of specifics, but...
Yeah, I just think we end the episode. Because
no, that's honestly what I thought as I watched it. It's like this episode can literally be 2 minutes. Where I could just come on and be like, let's talk about this movie. And I go, this movie fucking sucks. Because it does. And then that could be the end. Like, I was mad. I told you, I got mad.
Yeah. Well, so tell me about what you... I mean, I'll placate you a little bit. Like, why did you get mad? Because I don't know if I can just sit here and debate the merits of this fucking stupid film. Like, there is no point to this film. There's no fucking point. It's monsters fighting, and that's what you get. It's a UFC match of monsters fighting. Yeah, so what were you upset about? You were expecting...
What got me mad is the reaction, is like the critical response. That people are like fawning all over this movie, and I don't want to go too deep into this comparison because this is an episode we haven't released yet. We recently recorded a conversation about Armageddon, which is a film that was universally panned.
I wanted to escape from this movie. I didn't care if the asteroid hit the Earth or not. I was afraid the movie was going to hit me.
That I think is totally enjoyable, mindless, popcorn, fun. And so I feel like those same critics that hated that movie and picked apart all of its common sense and stupidity or lack of common sense are now with Godzilla being like, what a refreshing treat. Like, just mindless, stupid stuff. Is this not great? After a year being locked in our homes, now we can just sit back and unplug, don't have to think about it. I saw multiple reviews that said things like, it's so stupid that it's almost brilliant. Like multiple variations of that sentence where it's like this director is so genius to just make something so dumb.
That's the highest compliment I can only hope to achieve in my filmmaking career. That's my Oscar. This is so dumb that it's genius.
So that's why I got mad. So I stayed up last night till 1 a.m. watching this movie, and I stayed up for like another hour just reading all the like the beginning blurbs on Rotten Tomatoes of these fucking people that are just like, oh, so great, how refreshing, how wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, y'all, this is such a cop-out. Like, I don't want to be insulting to the people who made this movie. They made a big monster movie. They have to be happy about it. It's well received. Great. People who like this stuff are probably going to like it. Great.
Yeah.
Y'all enjoy it. But this is a horrible film. It is a horrible film. And it's for professional critics to be like, oh yeah, this movie's so genius in its stupidity. It's just so frustrating.
I don't know.
I'm just mad about Armageddon.
6 billion people on the planet. Why'd you guys call me?
I personally feel like after watching it, I have no choice but to ignore how stupid this film is. Like, I can't say it enough, and I don't think you can either, about how ludicrous and how nothing makes sense. Nothing is, there's no care to this story other than we need reasons for these guys to fight. Like, nothing makes sense. Like, if you stop to think about this film for 1 second and the action that is happening, it doesn't make sense. Like, literally every decision and every action taken in the film, you're like, that wouldn't happen. Like, there's no groundwork or grounding nature of this film. Even, it can be fantastic, I'm not saying it can't, but something to like ground its own common sense. This universe's common sense. It's just non-existent. It just doesn't exist. So what are we going to talk about? Like, we just talk about the action.
And here's the other thing, which is like, even if the story is going to be so nonsensical, which I'm willing to overlook if the characters draw me in enough, like if I can relate or empathize or even just enjoy any of the human characters, and that is not present here. Like, there is zero. The most shocking thing to me was like, this movie started and we all of a sudden, the woman and the child that are like supervising Kong or whatever in that dome, the actress Rebecca Hall, and then like they just start talking. I'm like, oh, these must be characters from previous movies that I'm unfamiliar with. No,
they're not.
And Alexander Skarsgård, the Nathan Hind, I think is his character's name, which is a miracle I remembered that because that was in one ear and out the other. It's like I thought, oh, there's got to be some background with him too. No, like this is the first time we're meeting these people. Like, this is the first time we're seeing Kong since Skull Island. So you're telling me I have all the information I need to just start with this dome on this place 50 years later with this woman and this deaf child? Like, I don't understand.
I don't want to talk
anything
about
that's happening. Why does she have the control? Why does she have the say to release Kong on this and bring in the military, and then the military's deferring to this washed up author? That's all his claim to fame, is that he wrote a debunked book, like a hated book about the journey to the center of the earth. Like, I just...
Yeah. Who shackled Kong? Who put those shackles on him?
The military.
Who put those shackles on him and got him on that boat?
Yeah.
Unwillingly.
Yeah.
Who got the biggest monster ever to just unwillingly go on this boat. Like, it's just not, none of it, it's an excuse. They gotta get him to...
He can't break the chains, but then he rips his neck one off.
Yeah.
We're not even trying. Sorry, we're getting lost because there's so much of that.
Because we can do this all day. There's no point. There's no point to
but
just...
Yeah, but that's why we're here, Keith.
No.
To talk about this bullshit.
We're going to talk about the action.
It's so good. If the humans were like... No disrespect to Alexander Skarsgård and Rebecca Hall, who I kind of think are the two leads in this movie.
No, the two leads are Godzilla and Kong.
Well, yeah, okay, fair. Human leads, who are like the people that we're supposed to kind of connect to a little bit. They are like they're talented performers, but they're like super vanilla. Like, there is zero charisma from either of them. It's part of the reason Skull Island worked, because you had Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson and Samuel L. Jackson, like people that really command the screen and that can share the screen with these beasts, and that you're actually like So my overall point, I'm sorry, even if the story itself is stupid and things don't really make sense and we're just trying to get to the action scenes, at least give me a little melodrama with the characters to really be like, okay, yes, these are tropes. Yes, this is kind of cheesy, but at least like you can appeal to my base nature of like, oh, I'm gonna wipe a tear away because this guy made his dad proud or some bullshit, you know what I mean? It's like, do something like that. There's just none of that. And if you're building a universe, a shared universe, you can't get any of the same cast members from the previous 3 movies, but other than Millie Bobby Brown? Like,
there is no shared universe. They just say that because it's popular. There's no fucking point to a Monsterverse because exactly what you just mentioned. Nobody is relevant to any other film. None. No, nobody. You already know who Kong is. You already know who Godzilla is, just from like folklore. So none of it matters. Like either they think fans are stupid or they just don't care. Pick one. How are you insulting us? That's what that's what, if you want to really get into it, which I didn't want to do, but that's what it is. that's what it is. It's just studios, people who make these movies, executives, I assume not filmmakers. I assume that they want the craft to show. But the studios that make these movies are just, they're insulting your intelligence, or they just don't give a shit. So what do you think it is? Pick one. Either way, go fuck yourself.
I read an article about the director and him saying something along the lines of, obviously a huge paraphrase here, but how important it was to him to really build the story of the human characters. And really do like a lot of work on that, and he feels really accomplished.
Where was that work?
I was like, bro, I'm sorry, man. Like it's a huge, like you didn't do it. That couldn't have been a priority.
Yeah.
You just couldn't have been.
I want to have honest conversations because I don't believe that. I believe he's saying that. I believe you got to sell a movie. People who are involved in the movie, this is a huge blockbuster film that's supposed to do big numbers. Can't come out and say the honest truth and be like, yeah, this is some dumb shit with some special effects. Hope you like it.
Yeah. But then why is it reviewed so well? Like, that's the part I keep coming back to. It's like, who paid off who?
Yeah, it's got to be a marketing
there's got to be
thing.
something there that you're like, it's just insane.
Yes.
It's like, what movie are you guys watching? That's why I got so mad. What movie did you guys just watch? Because I just watched a horrendously bad film. Like, you can't look at me in a straight face. Even people who really like this movie, I feel like, you can't look at me with a straight face and say, this is a really, really well-made movie. Lots of attention to the story, lots of attention to arc. I don't think any character in this movie, including Godzilla or Kong, has an arc.
Kong.
Kong has an arc?
Kong, I was going to talk about, this is the one thing I was going to try and discuss, legitimately, okay. To change pace a little bit from just shitting all over this terrible film. I feel like this is a Kong movie and not a Godzilla movie. I feel like the story revolves around Kong getting from this enclosure, having the love and compassion of this young girl and being able to communicate, like humanizing him. Godzilla is a monster, period. Like they humanize him over the course of the film. Kong has emotional depth, and I'm using this term loosely. And then we're just trying to, the end of the film is trying to find him a home. That's his arc.
Yeah.
That's the only thing in this film that's of like any sort of substance.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think it's interesting because that makes sense, is right? Like Kong is the most like human of the beasts. Like you can't look at Godzilla and be like, I really relate to Godzilla's motives, and like his attitude, I respect. So yeah, that makes sense. So great job. You guys gave Kong an arc.
You gave congratulations. It just felt like a King Kong movie. Not a Godzilla.
But then he loses. He loses like both times. So
This is my one complaint, other than the entire film.
Other than everything else.
Everything else. But if I'm going to take this movie seriously in any capacity, saying just what I said, this is a Kong film. He's the heart of this story. He grounds the story as much as possible. They show Kong losing all the time. Like, he loses 100% of the time of this film. And I was really upset. I use that term loosely, but I was like, kind of bummed because he's clearly outmatched by Godzilla. Godzilla shoots fucking lasers. I didn't know that, but he shoots lasers out of his mouth. Like, he's indestructible. He swims. He can breathe underwater. Like, Kong has no business in the same world. Like, if we're going to compare powers or whatever, like, he's just a strong ape. So you show him getting his butt kicked literally the whole time, and he has to get bailed out over and over and over again by the humans who are trying to just desperately keep him alive because of the love to that creature. But I was so disappointed when they go into the center of the earth, and those like pterodactyls or whatever start attacking to him. I was like, oh great, I'm gonna get to see him destroy shit. Like, show me why he's the king of the Titans. Show me why like no one puts baby in a corner or whatever she said in the beginning.
Kong bows to no one.
He had to get bailed out again there too. Like, he's not that great. Like, what does he, like, he's not, like, and that I was so disappointed in. Like, give me one moment where I'm just like, oh yeah, shit, he reminded me. This guy's a beast. He can really handle himself. He would have lost every fight had it not been for human interaction. Every single one was predicated, his victory is predicated on the humans helping him to win that fight. Everyone, including the end. Big miss, in my opinion.
And then the marketing of the film is so like, one will fall, you know? And it's like...
No, they won't.
Yeah.
Sequels.
Like, okay, yeah, Godzilla won 2 rounds, you know, quote unquote, but they're both fine at the end, and they both team up, which was also the most predictable thing in the history of the world. Like, I knew that going into the movie, and I didn't read any spoilers or anything because I don't care. But like, I was like, okay, so obviously they're not going to kill one of these characters off, and they're going to end up teaming up to fight something even worse.
A bigger threat, 100%.
Yeah. And that I feel like only went for like 3 minutes or 2 minutes. Like their dual fight, their tag team match, I feel like was kind of quick.
It's funny that you say tag team match, because I was like, oh, this kind of feels like a WWE thing. Like Kong's knocked out on the ground, and he's alive as it comes running in the last second. It's just like, it's a Hogan move.
Because they jump-started his heart with a spaceship? Like, what the fuck was that? How did that work? Someone. Just give me the layman's explanation.
It can light up Las Vegas for a week.
Yeah, what? By blasting it with its thrusters? Like, what happened there?
Everett, it can light up Las Vegas for a week. So clearly it can start his heart. It can start his heart.
How come they let that shitty professor fly that thing? He's a pilot? He can fly a futuristic thing now? Like,
it's tech. I love how convenient. Is this set in today? It's like set in today's world, right? Like, this tech, it can go to the center of the earth and everyone knows how to use it, and it's just... Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Why are these people allowed to go on it? Like,
He's an author, Everett.
Yeah. He's a professor in a basement at a college.
Hold on, ladies.
Yeah, stop thinking about that. You just can't think about that stuff.
It's so bad. So just be honest with yourselves, you guys. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Episode over.
I take no joy. I take no joy.
Seems like you're taking a little joy. Are you taking a little joy?
I don't. I'm mad. I'm disappointed. It's my Wonder Woman point. I want movies to be good. I don't want to watch bad movies. Like, I just take me away. Take me away at the beginning of the movie. And then this movie is just awful.
Low key, I was really hoping that I would just like love it. I don't know why. Like, going in, I was like, man, there's a chance I'd like just love it. It's just awesome and big and fun, and like I'm not expecting too much from it. And it's still disappointing. It still was just shitty. It's just shitty.
Yeah.
But you can't think about it. Like, you can't judge it on like a real film, because it's just not a real film. It's a video game. It's a fucking video game.
But you can judge. It's like, I just spent 2 weeks defending Point Break and Armageddon next week, like big, brainless, action, fun movies. Like, I'm more than capable of enjoying like a good time, stupid movie. Skull Island is a good time, stupid movie. I didn't love Skull Island, but I liked it. Like, it was totally enjoyable. Like, this can be that, but this has none of that. This movie has zero charm. And people talk about it being self-aware. To me, it doesn't even have that much self-awareness.
No.
Like, there's not a high level of, like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of takes itself a little too seriously.
I was going to say, I would say the complete opposite. There is no hint of self-awareness in this film at all.
What's the best part? Give me something good. Say something nice about it.
It's over? No, I'm just... Forgive me because I should know this actor's name, but the gentleman from Atlanta.
Brian Tyree Henry.
He, I think, is a delight in every role I've ever seen him in.
One more for the instant sluts. One more for the instant back to back. Come on, man, back to back. Nice.
I do think he's a very talented actor. I think he has some range. I think he plays different characters well. I think he brings sincerity to each of his roles that are uniquely him. I enjoyed him on screen. I didn't enjoy anyone else, but when he was on, I was like, oh, he's fun.
That was my answer. So, Brian Tyree Henry is yeah. He's the best part of Atlanta, I think, which is a phenomenal show. So that's saying something. Paperboy, and he's fine. He's enjoyable in this. I think he doesn't have a lot to work with, but he is the best part. I don't have much else, really.
Yes, in conclusion, I mean, this is great because I'll be able to turn this around pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Thank God. So, in conclusion,
I don't know what movie other people watched. I'm sorry. I don't like being like overtly insulting about movies, but this is a bad movie. This is a really, really bad movie. I guess if you like monster movies, maybe you'll like the stuff. But I don't even think that part's that great. So I wish I hadn't watched it. I didn't want to watch it, and I was right.